We think of them as superheroes, racing at 200 miles per hour, fearless, living like they're untouchable.
To pretend he's going right.
And Sebastian Vettel goes onto the grass this time.
But behind the helmets, they're still human.
No! No!
These are F1 drivers out in public. Let me ask you something. What's the best place to spot the Hamiltons, Verstappens and Latifis? Is it Mexico City?
Interesting, Buzz.
Or maybe Las Vegas?
Checo?
What's with the helmet?
Poker face, maybe.
Nah. Monaco isn't just a city, it's basically a Formula 1 theme park that never closes, just because there's so many of them that actually live there. Shout out to the tax laws. So you don't need a paddock pass or some VIP bracelet, just take a walk and suddenly you're standing next to a world champion who's pretending to be a normal guy. Another example? El Nano. Someone spotted him just casually rolling around in town in an Aston Martin Valiant, not just any Aston either. This thing is one of only 38 in existence. That's peak Monaco energy. And there's more. You'll see the only Monegasque F1 driver on the grid around here a lot. Maybe walking his dog, just driving around, or even crashing. Spotting drivers in Monaco feels like Pokemon Go, but instead of finding Pikachu, you're face to face with Lando. Now, that's Monaco. Drivers in their natural habitat. But what if I tell you they also get spotted in other countries? The best sighting of them all? Leclerc once again, but this time going through a McDonald's drive-thru. That's right, Ferrari's golden boy, the T4C's hero, pulling up to order fries in his Ferrari.
Leclerc! Leclerc!
And it wasn't just any other day either. This was right after a tough weekend in Imola. So what does he do? Comfort food. Honestly, kinda relatable. Even Leclerc knows the real combo meal is fries, nuggets, and you smashing that subscribe button to not miss any of the next videos. Anyway, Monaco sightings are basically the blooper reel of F1. No helmets, just these amazing drivers living regular lives in a country the size of a really expensive shopping centre. And it's probably the most real you'll ever get to see them outside the track. But what happens when they step outside that little bubble? Well, that's when things get even more thrilling, because sometimes they need to keep pursuing that adrenaline and show up at some other sports, and honestly, it feels like a crossover episode. Sure, driving at 180 miles per hour isn't enough, so you've also got to lace up skates and flex in front of hockey fans. Picture this, Montreal, Canada Race Week, and there's Valtteri just casually showing up with the Canadians. Instead of chilling in the VIP box like a normal guest, my guy actually throws on full hockey gear and hops on the ice. And if there's something Bottas loves doing more than racing, it's doing side quests. He likes racing so much that he just swapped 4 wheels for 2. A wild moment back in Adelaide was when he lined up for a short, fast, chaotic bike race with regular cyclists. He was in it, but quickly faded a few laps down. Then spotted in South Africa. Then in southern Scotland, he joined over 800 riders to take on 70 miles of mixed terrain. Yes, gravel, rocks, dust, hills, the whole package. He didn't exactly sprint past everyone. He finished 114th, clocking just over 4 hours, but winning isn't always everything, especially when you're there to support someone else. His girlfriend, Tiffany Cromwell, crushed it in the women's race. Winner. Hero. The Finn is one of the best personalities on the grid, and part of that is because of his kindness. He's been spotted doing race support at Tour de France Farm, handing out bottles and hanging in the paddock with his wife Tiffany, basically being the hype man. And while Bottas was out there trying to race as much as he could, Alonso decided to take it more chill, just going for rides by the beach with his girl. Meanwhile, Ocon decided he needed his own cameo moment, but he went straight for maximum flex. He showed up at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, surrounded by some of the most legendary cars ever built. Instead of doing just the polite way for fans, he jumped straight into a WRC GR Yaris to do a rally course. As if that wasn't enough, he then hopped into a Haas for a demo run and ripped it up the hill. Thousands of people lining the track, phones out, watching him fly past. The sound of the Haas engine echoing through the crowd was insane, and Ocon looked like he was absolutely loving it. Meanwhile, I was half expecting him to chalk it straight into the hay bales, just to keep the meme alive. However, this wasn't just fun and giggles for Ocon, as Lawson also went full speed in a Ford Red Bull rally car.
I mean, he looks pretty handy behind one of these rally cars up at our rally.
But if this felt like a fun crossover episode, wait until you see the next spin-off series, starring Max Verstappen with the biggest plot twist ever. Ever heard of a Formula 1 champion hiding in plain sight? Yeah, Max actually did that. And no, I'm not talking about him slipping through an airport with some glasses and a mustache. Dude straight up entered the Nürburgring Nordschleife under a fake name. On the entry list it said Franz Hermann, but behind the wheel of the GT3 car, it was the 4-time champion just casually setting a lap record like it was a warm-up jog. Because this is Super Max, of course the memes came next.
Are you Max or are you Franz?
France is actually having a lot of contract offers at the moment, so he's actually negotiating his terms for the Nordschleife.
But this isn't his first side quest. Things were once even weirder, because just months before, the same dude was doing community service in Rwanda. Yep, you heard that right. After saying a no-no word in an FIA press conference, he didn't get a fine or a slap on the wrist. His punishment was work of public interest. And to be fair, it wasn't some fake PR stunt either. He actually worked with the Rwanda Automobile Club, helping kids with grassroots projects and learning about affordable racing programs. Think about the contrast. 1 week he's in Kigali teaching kids how to send it on dirt tracks. The next he's France, an undercover lap record holder. That's not just whiplash, that's a whole different career mode. So yeah, Verstappen's public life wasn't just about being the gold standard on track, it was about fake names and community service in Africa. Well, let's not forget his always iconic beach pics and videos with Kelly and Penelope. Could anything be cuter? Unforgettable either way. The funniest part, Max tried to keep things low-key, but the next group of drivers, oh no, they are allergic to staying out of the headlines. Fashion Week kinda turned into Lewis Hamilton's second paddock. No helmets, no cars, just cameras flashing everywhere, and this is nothing new. Lewis has been living in this world for years now. He's not just racing cars anymore, he's basically running the culture game too. One day he's sweating, dragging a Ferrari through 50 laps, and the next he's walking into the Met Gala like it's just another Sunday stroll. And no, not that Sunday stroll. And bro didn't just show up. To be fair, when it comes to fashion, Hamilton is untouchable, even in the paddock. He's the gold standard here. It's not even about outfits anymore, it's about pure drip. You don't casually appear at Paris Fashion Week and still pull podiums unless you're in a league of your own. And not only there, because with girls, dude's even on another level. Since the Nicole Scherzinger days, Lewis has been spotted in the wild with a few gals. Probably more than I can even remember. From mystery girls to the literal Shakira and some other celebrities. If dating was a Grand Prix, Hamilton would have lapped the entire grid by now. And that just keeps going. Still strong this year, where he's been spotted with a few mysterious women in Monaco. Of course, he needs someone to clean up the mess Ferrari leaves. Some outlets chalk it up as speculation, other bottle headlines like, is Hamilton single? And every time he leaves a hotel with a random person, Twitter threads start like they're trying to solve a true crime case. And just to add another random twist, Pierre Gasly was spotted, not in public, but somehow ending up in Benson Boone's To Love Someone music video. Not singing, unlike the 7-time world champion.
You know I got a wild imagination. I like to play the doctor operation.
Anyway, Pedro Gasioso appeared in the video as one of the main characters, adding actor to his resume, right next to F1 driver. Of course, fans went high-key nuts. One moment Gasly's flexing Alpine gear, the next he's in a breakup ballad montage. It's giving Marvel multiverse energy. And they aren't just into music, they tend to party a lot. And funnily enough, the only place where Lance Stroll looks more mid than on track is under neon lights at 2 AM. It's kind of funny how these guys completely lose control the second the music starts. And nothing proves that better than King's Day in Amsterdam. Picture this, the canals are packed with boats, everyone's in orange, and it's basically chaos on water. And right there you've got Lando Norris, chilling with his crew, enjoying the vibes. Everything looks normal, until the next morning, when photos pop up with him and a little bandage slapped across his nose. Like, bro, how do you come back from a boat party looking like you just fought with a swan? Now, Lando brushed it off later, said it was a small cut, nothing serious. People went berserk making fun of him, because of course he can survive sketchy moves at 200 miles per hour, but somehow bottles it against a boat railing? Even Crash.net reported it, which is wild. Imagine explaining to your grandkids, yeah, my favorite F1 driver once made the news for a paper cut at a festival. And then there's the other side of partying. While Lando was dealing with King's Day bruises, Lance Stroll was spotted at a Montreal nightclub living his best life. The video shows him just vibing with the crowd. Honestly, it was the most relaxed I've seen him in a while. Low-key looked smoother dodging on the dance floor than he ever has defending a corner. People online even joked he had more pace in that club than in his Aston. Actually, not wrong. And you know what? Credit where it's due. At least his drip was on point. What makes these moments so good is how raw they are. No Netflix-style edits, no media training. Just candid chaos caught on camera. At the end of the day, off this circuit, these guys really aren't that much different from us. We've all had nights out where we've left with a random cut. I mean, I've even got a scar. Or where we've ended up in a video where we wish we hadn't. The only difference? When we do it, maybe 20 people find out. When they do it, 10 million people can see it on Instagram the next morning. Just like what happened to Checo, but instead of turning up at some festival, he was recorded crawling out of a hangover on a yacht. Seen by millions, forgotten by almost everyone. What's really memorable is seeing him eat tacos at the most random places in Mexico. Yep, our king of the streets really went from street circuit specialist to street food specialist in no time, and honestly, it fits him perfectly. Fans in Mexico don't just catch him rolling into 5-star restaurants with a VIP table waiting. Nah, they've snapped him standing at your average taco spot. Plastic chairs, salsa dripping down the side, and people yelling their orders like they're at the final lap in Monza. The photos are gold. He's got that same serious race face you'd see during qualifying, except he's battling to keep his torta from exploding in his hands. Like, bro, chill, it's just tacos. And elotes too. He looks untouchable in a Red Bull, but give him a taco and suddenly he's the absolute GOAT. But Perez doesn't just gatekeep this experience for himself. When his soon-to-be teammate Bottas landed in Mexico City, El Patron basically converted him into a taco lover. You'd think Valtteri's diet was 90% protein shakes and napping in the sauna, but suddenly he's flexing on social media with Michelin-starred tacos like he's a local. And of course, everyone online was like, yeah, Checo definitely dragged him into this. Or maybe not, but what is 100% true is that he'll be giving Bottas a lot of tequila.
Just tequila. Por favor. Plenty. You'll have plenty of tequila, don't worry.
And then, because why not, the Mexican decided baseball was next. He shows up at Dodger Stadium, not to watch, but to throw the ceremonial first pitch, which, if you've seen it, you know people were actually waiting for him to bottle it harder than Ferrari's pit wall. And okay, it wasn't a total disaster. He didn't chalk it completely. The ball reached the catcher, but the form? Yikes. Imagine a guy who can handle a car at like 200 miles per hour suddenly looking like he just booted up Wii Sports Baseball for the first time. My guy went full rookie mode in front of an entire stadium. Even so, the man had drip. Dodger blue, big smile, crowd cheering for a recently signed F1 driver for an American team in the middle of Los Angeles. That moment was peak. It showed he didn't need to be in a car to feel like the MVP. Sometimes just showing up is enough. But here's the thing, not every driver outside the track is about meme-worthy moments. Some of them actually go full wholesome mode. Instead of being caught in 4K making mistakes or partying until you lose your mind. These stories are a whole different vibe. And trust me, you'll want to hear them. Forget the stats, the trophies, the wins. What really sticks are those random times when a driver stops being a machine and just feels human. Like Norris and Piastri. This year we've been seeing them grinding on track, fighting for podiums, for wins, even for the championship. But this one time, they made someone's weekend. Out of nowhere, they walked straight into a Hilton McLaren suite where a fan was just chilling, probably expecting free snacks, maybe a selfie if she was lucky. Instead, McLaren's lineup barges in like it's their own living room.
Been here for days.
Days.
Yeah.
Great to meet you guys. I'm Noah.
And her reaction? Kinda mid, to be honest, just like she saw two friends from school or something like that. Maybe she was just nervous. But at least it didn't look staged. It felt raw, messy, and actually genuine. You could almost hear the fans' brain buffering like, wait, why are these guys in my hotel room? And to be fair, I'd be the same. However, nothing compares to the joy of a little kid. Just like that time Lando met with one of his little fans.
It's for me. Thank you very much.
No lap time, no drama about which McLaren driver is at fault, just pure joy. For once, the drivers weren't untouchable stars. They were right there, vibing, making someone's weekend unforgettable. Now, flip the script. Let's talk about Sebastian Vettel. 4-time world champ, yes, but also low-key one of the most wholesome guys the sport has ever seen. Silverstone 2021, the race had finished, the crowd was gone, and the grandstands looked like the aftermath of a music festival. Everyone else already back at the paddock. Seb? He stayed behind, walking row by row with a rubbish bag, picking up the trash. Imagine walking out the track and turning back to see a world champion cleaning up after you. I'd feel terrible. Straight up elite. No cameras needed, no PR team pushing him. It was just Seb being Seb. And to top it off, 2 years later at Suzuka, he showed up again. Not to race, but to build bee hotels. Literal wooden houses for bees. On the circuit, it turned 2. Now tell me that isn't one of the most random side quests ever. And you know what? It worked. Fans loved it. Even people who didn't care about racing suddenly cared about Vettel because of the bees. Put these stories together, the McLaren boys surprising fans, Vettel saving bees and cleaning up stands. And it's obvious, for once F1 wasn't toxic. Just kindness, raw and simple. And maybe that's the real flex the sport doesn't show enough of. This is the real twist of F1 drivers in public. The moments that never make it onto the timing sheet, the hugs, the cleanups, the bee hotels. Those are the ones that keep racing in our heads forever. If you enjoyed watching F1 drivers out of their character, make sure to watch when the fans were more than just fans. And as always, thank you for watching.